Let me ask you something, Mike. The technology, the state it is today, I'm just wanting your opinion. They've got the 5G, they got the face recognition. Obviously, they locked down the WeChat and the monetary system. We've heard about their CBDC that they've rolled out to 80, 100 million people. And from what I've heard of people that are pretty deep in the CBDC game is that it's pretty advanced and pretty oppressive. Just curious, from your point of view, could Xi have done this, in 2000? Or does it require this force multiplying technology to be able to do what he's doing? Or maybe even the threat that technology could exist to the population to do it? Or am I totally off?
No, I think you're spot on. I think obviously it's, just to keep throwing out trite phrases, it's a double-edged sword. There's an upside and a downside to technology when you're talking about security, right? The ability for the population to move information or to acquire information, right, has increased. But the ability to monitor, to surveil, right, the population has exponentially increased, right? So the ability to gather information on people. I mean, if the average person out there, whether it's in London or Washington, D.C. or Melbourne or wherever it may be, if they knew how much data was available, right? And I'm not just talking to governments, right? The corporations are much more efficient at this, right? They're much better at this. So governments, for the most part, can't organize panic in a doomed submarine. So I think it's the companies that you tend to have to worry about in terms of the collection. But if people knew just how much of their information was accessible, they'd be shocked.
I saw some poor reports recently talking about how, law enforcement and government can get specific intel on a specific person and a specific phone number. And, that's fairly easy to get and has been done. I don't know if it was some stuff that came out about the FBI about that. Facial recognition technology, is the public are we oblivious to how far that's really advanced? And I know in China, or at least I've heard in China, that it's, everybody is being tracked by facial recognition pretty much everywhere. And it's all woven into, the social score, the CBDCs, which really controls the population. What can you tell us about that tech?
Yeah, it's really advanced over the past even half dozen years. Its capabilities are remarkable. I mean, here in the U.S., it's used for security purposes at picking a major event like the Super Bowl or an inauguration, and the ability compared to, I remember when the technology was just developing, right? And it was, you'd look at it and you go, okay, that's nice, but I'm not sure I see the application for it. And now, from a surveillance perspective, from a crowd control perspective, from counterterrorism, it's astounding. Without going into gruesome sources and methods and operational details, it's remarkable what can be done. And in the wrong hands, meaning in a despotic regime that doesn't care at all about civil liberties or human rights, it is from their perspective, a marvelously effective tool.
Can they track facial recognition with masks on? I heard they can do that. And I heard that there was even cadence recognition. Like they were doing that in China, like how you walked.
Yeah. Everyone's got a certain, it's not quite as singularly unique as fingerprints, but people have, certain movement. You used to, in the old days, what am I, Wilford Brimley? In the old days of surveillance, you'd be out on the street, right? And, you would, you're looking for things, right? When you're looking to follow a target and you've got a lot of assets out on the street, right? You've got multiple surveillance teams and you're doing this in perhaps a denied area, or you're just trying to, ensure that, the target doesn't, tweak to your presence. You're looking for a variety of things, and gait was always one of those, right? Or sort of the way, the cadence of a person's movement down a street. And then lots of other things. Shoes, right? Why? Because people can change their jacket or their hat, but they're not going to typically change their shoes during the course of a meander if they're looking to spot surveillance. But anyway, I digress. But yes, with even wearing a mask, and this was advanced uniquely during the pandemic, when that became, obviously more of an issue. But because of the number of points of recognition, because of the data set that they use when they're collecting on an individual's face, even with a mask, and now a full overhead mask, that's a different story, but I'm talking about, just your standard face mask from the old pandemic days, then yes, you can still maintain contact with the target.
That's scary. So it's eyes. It's kind of like all eyes recognition and distances and that type of thing.
Well, that and I mean, there's ears and there's a lot of things going on because it collects an astounding number of points of identification that combine to make a unique target profile. So it's interesting. It's I would argue again, just like with use of information on individuals in the wrong hands, there's a reason for it from a security perspective at times. I realize that people are always leery of any government. Doesn't matter whether it's the U.S., the U.K., anywhere, right? People are always leery of government, and rightly so. You should be somewhat cynical. But from Xi's perspective, or from Putin's perspective, they don't have anywhere near the capability that the Chinese regime does. But it's a very powerful tool.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. Hey, do you want to profit from crypto? Then join my DeFi Academy. The Crypto DeFi Academy will help you create generational wealth. But don't take my word for it. Listen to my students.
When I first got into crypto, I remember thinking to myself, I need to learn more. Brian Rose, learning crypto, learning DeFi, gotta do it.
I am so grateful that I jumped in and did this. I had to break through some limiting beliefs that I can do this, that I can afford this, that I can be in this.
It challenges the things that are deeply rooted within us.
Joining DeFi Academy has been one of the best decisions I have made on my blockchain journey.
This course was a life changer, a game changer, a huge eye-opener, coming from knowing practically nothing at the speed of the learning over 4 weeks was just fantastic.
The information you provided in this class was invaluable.
I feel far more confident in my next steps.
You took complex concepts and made them easier to understand.
What's different than so many other ones is it just doesn't tell you what to do. It actually makes you do it.
This is for people who are serious about becoming traders. This is the way it should be done.
I realized from this learning experience again that it is not about what you learn, but about who you learn it from.
The energy was insane. I've never experienced such incredible energy on a live call. Brian Rose, you are a legend, my friend.
It's the only thing in the market where you can get all information and learn everything what you need to know.
Everything is so clear and so well done, and I'm just forever grateful for this program.
It made me feel so much more confident about crypto than I did before.
I did not anticipate how passionate I was going to become about it.
It's also been like a big learning experience for me, not just in the crypto space, but just an overall balance of life.
What I've learned is, how to take ownership, of my life in a way that I really hadn't before.
Yeah, you can't put a price on that, really.
I would recommend it to anybody, top notch.
Excellence does not come cheap. So if you want excellence, you got to pay for it, but it's so worth it.
pull the trigger. That's what this course is about.
You're not going to regret it, really. It's amazing.
Thank you, Brian and team.
So what are you waiting for? Crypto is happening now. Click the link below, submit your application, and let me mentor you on how to create generational wealth and build the decentralized financial infrastructure of the future.